Hey guys, I wanted to go over compatible numbers with you. We're going to start off by dividing with a single digit. The first thing I want you to remember is that you do not round if the divisor is a single digit. In the case of this, our divisor is 6. So we are not going to round it. It is going to stay 6. The next thing we want to do is we want to look at the first to second digit of our actual number. So in the case of 29,035, we want to look at just the 29. You want to find multiples of our rounded divisor. In this case, we're not rounding it, so we're trying to find multiples of 6 that kind of come around the 29. So let's look at our multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So 29 falls between 24 and 30. So there's really no need for us to go any further. So is it closer to 24 or is it closer to 30? I think it's closer to 30, so we're going to round 29,035 to 3,000. This is a good number because 30 and 6, we know that 6 goes into 30 5 times. So we should be able to do that in our heads, giving us 5,000 as an answer. We can double check ourselves because it's always good to do that by doing the actual division. And we know 6 goes into 3 0 times, so we're going to put an X up there because everything underneath has to have something on top. That way you don't accidentally put the numbers in the wrong spot or you forget and leave out a number. So 6 goes into 30 5 times. And I'm going to keep bringing these down. And because I'm still getting 0, I'm just going to bring down, bring down, bring down. 6 still can't go into 0. So everything underneath gets something on top. So I'm going to go ahead and move those zeros to the top. So 30,000 divided by 6 is 5,000. So that tells me that this division problem, its answer will probably be around 5,000. Maybe a few hundred off, and that's okay, but it's going to be close enough that it's going to be reasonable to us. All right, so now let's talk about when we have two-digit divisors. All right, so dividing by a double digit. So we are going to take the number 22,094 and we're going to divide it by 43. So the first thing we want to do is we want to again round that divisor. Because it's a double digit, I definitely want to round. Now, if you end up with a number like 25 or 50, then you may want to go ahead and keep those because you can use the qualities of quarters or you can use the qualities of the fact that 50s, there's 2 and 100. Those you may or may not need to round, but numbers like 43 you definitely do. And I would probably go ahead and round this down to 40. Now, you want to come back and you want to look at again the first two digits. You don't want to look at the first digit on when you're dividing by two numbers. You want to look at just the two digits, and you may need to go to the third, but usually you're good with just the 2. Because this is a 0, I'm only going to look at the 4. So let's look at multiples of 4. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and 22 falls between 22 and 24. Now, it's evenly between the two, so you really have a choice. I'm going to go ahead and do 20 because I know that 4 goes into 20 5 times, and because it has a 0, I can use my rule of zeros. So I'm going to go 20,000 now, and we're going to use our rule of zeros. Now, if you recall, our rule of 0 is that if there is a 0 in the divisor and a matching 0 in the dividend, they actually will cancel each other out. So, because I have 1 0 here and 4 zeros here, I can't rule out all of the zeros. I can only get rid of the one they have in common, which is this 0. So they each get rid of 1 0. If they had 2 zeros each, then they would get rid of 2 zeros. But in this case, it's only 1. So now I'm really doing 2,000 divided by 4, which is a much easier number for us to divide, because we know that 4 goes into 20 5 times, and then we just have those zeros. So we should get 500 as our answer. So let's go back and just double check with normal division. 4 goes into 5 one time, giving us a 4 with 1 left over. Alright, so 4 goes into 2, no times. 4 goes into 20 5 times. That brings us down to 0. So we're just going to bring down, still 0. Bring down, still 0. And everything underneath has to have something above it. So that means my 0 moves up, my 0 moves up, and I still get 500. So that is your rules on compatible numbers. Don't forget that if you've got a matching 0 in the divisor and the dividend, they do cancel out, but they have to have the exact same number of zeros. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.